our distinguished guest from Paramount Computer Systems to today's leadership session, Leading with Vision, Building with Purpose. When we think of cybersecurity, we often think of technology, firewalls, AI, cloud security, and the ever-evolving digital threat landscape. But when you look at Paramount, one message stands out. Technology may be the business, but people are the differentiator. It is this philosophy that has enabled the organization to grow into one of Middle East's leading cybersecurity companies. Our principal speaker, Mr. Premchand Kurup, is the Chief Executive Officer of Paramount Computer Systems. An entrepreneur and visionary leader, he has spent over 2 decades building Paramount into a trusted cybersecurity partner across multiple countries. Throughout his career, he has championed mentoring, entrepreneurship, and a culture of continuous learning. Joining him is Mr. Namit Najib, Vice President at Ahlan Cyber, Paramount's KSA operations, and an esteemed alumnus of IIM Kozhikode. His journey from these very classrooms to leading business growth in one of the region's most dynamic markets is an example of how management education and domain expertise come together to create global leading opportunities. We are equally delighted to welcome Mr. Mukund Setlur, Head of Marketing at Paramount Computer Systems. In a company driven by innovation, his role reminds us that creating value isn't just about building great solutions. It is about building trust, communicating purpose, and helping customers understand why that innovation matters. To our guests, you are addressing a cohort of 58 experienced professionals representing industries as diverse as manufacturing, automobile, healthcare, consulting, banking, technology, PSUs. We may come from different sectors, but we are united by one common objective: to become better leaders and to create greater impact in the organizations we will be a part of. Before I invite our guests, I'd like to share a small personal note. While everyone in this classroom now shares an alma mater with one of our distinguished guests through IIM Kozhikode, I have the unique privilege of sharing my alma maters with 2 of them. Mr. Namit Najib is, of course, an alumnus of IIM Kozhikode, and Mr. Premchand Kurup is a fellow alumnus of Anna University, Kindi. It is a special honor to welcome my senior from my UG alma mater to our campus today. Welcome, senior. With that, on behalf of the entire PGPPL 07 batch, it is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Premchand Kurup, Mr. Namit Najib, and Mr. Mukund Setlur. Thank you for joining us. May I now invite our distinguished guests to address the batch.
Thank you. You are what you are. You are where you are because of what goes on in your mind. You can change what you are. You can change where you are by first changing what goes on in your mind. Everything in life has got 2 creations. First is the mental creation. The physical creation can only follow the mental creation. Every morning, a lion wakes up in the African jungle. The lion knows that it must run faster than the slowest gazelle. Otherwise, it won't get any food to eat. Every morning, a gazelle also wakes up in the African jungle. Now, the gazelle knows that it must run faster than the fastest lion. Otherwise, it will get killed. Now, in the modern business jungle, it does not matter whether you are a lion or a gazelle. When the sun rises in the eastern horizon, you better be up and running. This word leadership is misused, misunderstood. Everything that you can think of, it is there in this word. So my first question to you is, you have to address this question deep down in your mind. Do I want to be a leader? Suppose everybody in this room says, I want to be a leader. Then who will be a follower? You'll go outside of IIMK? Yeah, you can go to NIT and check. You might find, as Nasreen was saying, right? Nasreen, so her name, our MC of the day, right? From engineering college, they will follow you. Maybe. You don't know, never know. How many people here are engineers? Wow, that's a huge this one. How many of you are electronics engineers? 2, 3. If somebody were to ask you, maybe 3 of you, can you stand? Then I will know exactly. Yeah. Suppose somebody were to ask you, what did you actually learn in your engineering? You did 4 years of engineering, electronics. Well, what is it that you learned? What would be your answer?
I was very fascinated about microprocessors and microcontrollers, and I wanted to learn like how they used to work and how the PCB mounting actually happens. That I got to know when I was studying there at NIT Delhi. So that was pretty enriching experience for me.
Which engineering college did you go to?
NIT Delhi.
NIT Delhi. What's your name?
Sahil Rani. Sahil.
Sahil.
Yes.
Good. So you are saying that that is your answer. This is what you learned. So you learned everything about microprocessors. And about you?
Sir, I did my engineering in electronics and instrumentation.
From?
More in CET, sir, Trivandrum.
CET Trivandrum. Very good.
So, lot more into instrumentation. In the space, what are the sensors that is being used? What is the functioning methodology? All of that. That is one key learning from
Just note down the name. Okay. So you learned everything about sensors. Passive electronics.
Yes.
What's your name you said?
Nikhil.
Nikhil.
Yes.
And so this is what your engineering education taught you, right?
Yes.
And why did you join IIM?
Sir, I had joined HPCL, sir. HPCL, Hindustan Petroleum.
Hindustan Petroleum, okay?
So I was working there. So there again, the exposure I was getting was in multiple fields, but there was a capping. So I thought there is a bridging to the leadership role. So I thought I'll take up the course.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good, interesting. You?
I learned 18 credits of subjects there.
Sorry, I didn't understand. What is that?
I learned all the subjects there which are taught in any engineering.
Correct, okay.
That is one aspect of what I've learned. The second aspect would be it made me grow as a human being.
Very good. How did that happen? Engineering education, how do you immediately relate to it made me grow as a human being? What is that?
In school education, basically you are taught things like what you need to do in as a basic or a foundation course of what you need to do in your bachelor's or your engineering program. But in an engineering program, you meet a cohort of people who are from different places. They make you learn different things. From having friends to getting in touch with PhD students to professors, it makes you grow as a human being.
Very good. And then immediately after college, what did you do?
I joined Infosys
Infosys. And you were there for how many years?
for 1 year. Then I switched to IBM.
Okay, after 1 year, you went to IBM. And then you were in IBM for how many?
5 years.
5 years. And then
Then I joined.
here. So why did you join IMK?
I found a foundational gap in my knowledge. I became a more technical person than a humane or a business leader person. I had a team of 15 people, but even though I was able to comprehend what they are saying, but I needed management knowledge more to know that.
Okay, so you're saying that when it came to management of people, I felt that I needed to have the theoretical knowledge of management in order to do the right job,
Yes,
right?
at least the basic information.
Very good. And is that purpose being actually met? You've spent here now, what, 3-6 months?
It is being met.
Pardon me?
It is being met,
It is being met, theoretically at least.
and practically as well.
Okay, so you have enough number of opportunities
Yes.
to do that skilling. Very interesting, very good. What's your name?
Sakshi Bharat. Sakshi Bharat.
Sakshi. Okay. Good. What about you?
So I did my bachelor's in electronics and communication. And what I learned during my engineering is how systems communicate, whether it's circuits, so how does a signal travel from one component to another, or whether it is two radars or transmitters or antennas, so how does the communication happen between them. And post my engineering, I joined Ericsson, which is again a telecommunications company. And there I worked in the billing and charging system. Again,
Billing and charging. There you would not have had much to do with any of these components and all that.
so in that also we do get some incoming signals which we have to obviously translate into meaningful data and respond back as well. So,
Okay.
but I pursued MBA because I wanted to understand how what I was implementing overall impacts the bigger picture. How does I read? How do my decisions reach the end consumer? And for that, I needed a formal education into the business principles, looking at that solution from different lenses of finance, marketing, or operations.
Okay. Very good. What's your name?
Which were
Ujjwal. Okay. Very good. You've already said or no? You've said. Good. Sit down. I was just trying to think, what is it that I really learned in my engineering? See, I was a very good student. I used to be always top in class. We had 10 semesters in those days. First, second or third, I used to always come. But my personal assessment of myself was that, Prem, you're an idiot actually here. You don't know much. Your technical knowledge is not good. And you are actually not even enjoying all this studying that you are doing. To some extent, I felt that this voice that was telling me this was telling me the truth. So then the question was, how is it that then I'm coming this for second, third in class? It could be that, the others are not as good. They were not spending enough time learning, maybe. So you never know. It all depends on the environment in which you are. But I think that what dawned on me at that time was, I was very good in looking at all these past question papers and quickly arriving at what are those, and we had in those days, you have to answer only 5 questions out of 8. So that means 6, 7 and 8, if you don't know also, it doesn't matter. At 5 you have to know. I was extremely good at predictability. I would be able to, you tell me that this is the subject, digital electronics, you have this paper, I would be able to predict these 5 questions will definitely come. And I would zero in on those 5 questions and I would learn that very well. And I would answer those 5 questions so well. Unfortunately for me, I had an extremely good handwriting. So what happens when a teacher sees one paper with good handwriting, say, this fellow is very good. This is the, unconscious feeling that they all get. And I used to get those marks. But what I enjoyed more was, I had a lot of classmates who never used to attend class. And they used to tell me, Prem, can you teach us? Before this semester exam, I would not go to college for about 2 months. I used to take off. And in these 2 months, 1 month I would study and the other 1 month I would teach. So many of these fellows who never used to attend class used to simply love me. And I used to teach them, out of these 5 questions that I know will come, I used to teach them 3 only. And I used to tell them that with these 3, because their objective is that I should pass. That is his objective. Right? Teach them those 3 and this guy would consistently pass. And for him it was like, Prem is like God. I go to him, I don't want to attend any lecturers, any this one. So that was my life in engineering. And as somebody was mentioning, what it helped me was I built a very strong relationship with a large number of people. And somewhere I realized that my strength is in people relationships. I loved people. In fact, there was a time when there were 3, 4 girls who used to come home, and my mother was always worried that this fellow will fall in love with one of these girls and marry him. And that was her worry. But later on, as I progressed in my career, I realized that what I really learned in engineering was that it teaches you process thinking. Whenever somebody says, this is what I want, you first realize that this is the output. And you know that if I have to get that output, I have to simply take the required inputs and put that input through a process. You will always think in process terms. And it really helps you in business. Get that problem definition clearly, understand what is the required output, put it through an input process. Anything you will be able to solve. So that's a big advantage for engineers. And for those of you who come from other fields, this is actually more than enough for you. You don't have to go to any engineering college. How many are there who have not gone to any engineering college? 1, 2, 3, 4, only a sprinkling. But actually, if you learn input, process, output, believe me, you will be as good as anybody else here. Now, the next thing that you have to learn is finance. How many of you come from a background in BCom, commerce, anybody? 2, 3, that's it. 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why are you afraid to put up your hands? No? Economics, that's even better. So now if I were to ask you, why don't you stand up? What did you really learn here? 3 years you went and did some BCom and all that, commerce. I don't understand credit debit even today. You guys put something on the left side, something on the right side. What did you really learn?
So my name is Keshu, and I've done my PhD from Symbiosis International University. I'm also a cost and management accountant, and I worked 4 years. I have 4 years of experience, and I worked in Vedanta Group. So I would say that for me, in finance, we have been taught. Primarily, we have been taught how to balance debit and credit both sides. So that is the most important.
But that whatever you do, you guys will do jugglery and make it balance, because that is the objective. Objective is that I must get one balance sheet. So if the balance sheet doesn't balance, it will come back to you, right?
So that is why we get paid to balance.
But tell me more seriously, what did you really learn?
So I would say most important is what we've learned is that in business, every decision that a business makes is dependent on finance. And for making that decision, you need to understand, for example, if you're going to purchase a machine or an asset, we need to understand what returns we're going to get in the futures from those machines. And on the basis of that, we need to make decisions. So every decision is based on finance. And for every decision, you need to first look at different alternatives and you need to decide which one to take as per the outcomes of that.
Give him a big hand. Yes. Very good. I will just rephrase that a little differently. Every business decision that you take will have a financial impact. And whether you are in sales, marketing, logistics, delivery, R&D, whichever field you are in, you must be able to relate that decision that you are making to what is the financial impact, and you must know whether that financial impact is today or tomorrow. Because if it is today, you said your name is? Keshu. Keshu will appreciate this. I don't know whether all of you will appreciate this, because if that decision has a financial impact today, it is an expense. If it has a financial impact tomorrow, This you should understand very clearly. My suggestion to you is, Keshu, how many months have you all spent together? 3 months. Have you taken a class for them on finance? You should. You should. Because by the time they come out of college, if they do not understand finance, if their rating is 7 out of 10, you must be penalized. This is the most important thing. Even though you may have a course on finance, right? Even then it doesn't matter. Being taught by somebody who is studying with you is sometimes far easier, more enjoyable. Okay, good. I also suggest to all of you to listen to YouTube videos of Dr. Anil Lamba. Have anybody heard this? Heard his videos? Nobody? Nobody? Oh my God! Please listen to Dr. Anil Lamba's videos. Within 6 months, I'm telling you, Mr. Keshu can be challenged. You can make Keshu dance on this table. It's just beautiful. You will understand everything about business finance. You will understand what is returns. You will understand the difference between asset and liabilities. You'll understand if you want to become an entrepreneur, how do I decide on how much money that I must raise? Do I put in my money, somebody else's money? How do I pay that somebody else who has put in money? Everything you will learn. At least the fundamentals will be very clear to you. Because one of the most difficult things that happens in business life is that when you become a leader, there is one big problem that we all have as leaders. You are the leader of one company, and first one guy who is coming in is an R&D manager. And you have never stepped into one R&D. You have never designed anything in your life. At least we have one friend here who knows how, if you give him some various components, he will establish that circuit. You don't know what to do with those components, right? But you have to listen to this R&D manager and give him some direction, or at least accept what he is saying. And you don't know whether you're doing the right thing or not. So you won't be able to effectively have the right meeting with him, and he will not have any respect for you unless you have some amount of subject knowledge. So you need to understand R&D. Who is that person whom we met? Logistics? You, right? Logistics? Somebody? Was it in the other class? I forgot. Okay. So somebody is coming from logistics. Anybody here in this room with logistics experience? Where did you work?
I work at
Bosch. In the warehouse.
Yeah,
Inbound and outbound. Understood? Why there should be inbound and outbound in a warehouse? Item comes into a warehouse. You have to record that these items have come in your warehouse management system. What is the immediate next process? Can anybody guess? Item has come into the warehouse. Let's say TVs. You'll find all those boxes, right? TV boxes have come. Multiple suppliers are there. You've now immediately recorded that these are the two items. These are the items that have come. And how do these items come? 40 feet container. Do you know that? Logistics guys will know, the others don't know. Right? Normally the container is 40 feet. Comes, unloaded, recorded in the system. Now what do you do with this?
It gets sorted
Sorted. Okay. Why should it get sorted?
as per where it has to be stored in the warehouse.
Very good. Stored. So that process, do you know what it's called? You have not yet come to inventory management. That will come later. Now everything is lying here outside the warehouse. What do you do with this? Take this and put it in the shelf, right? That's called put away. So the first process is receiving. Second process is put away. Now once it is put away, what is the next process? No, it's stored. It's stored now. What is the next process? Picking. Somebody has placed an order, so you have to pick. You have to know where from the warehouse you have to pick it. And then shipping. So basically, there are 4 processes in a logistics place. So Mr. What is the name? Who is this person? Logistics. Yunus. Within the next 6 months, you should have taken classes so that they know exactly what logistics is all about. And every decision you take in logistics will have a financial impact. If you are going to take 4 hours of receiving, just imagine, you have to take account. There has been some logistics problem. There was a war in Iran, and now your ship has arrived, but at the same time 4 other ships arrived, and therefore instead of 1 container coming in, you have 10 containers that has come in. How much time it is going to take for you to do your receiving process and put away process? It has suddenly changed from 1 hour to 4 hours. Impact, immediate financial impact. Just think through, have a process mindset always, link that to finance, understand clearly what is the financial impact, and then take a decision. What should I do? You're not going to have enough number of people in the warehouse, so you have to immediately say that, okay, let me outsource now. I'll take 5 guys temporarily, 3 days. Now that's going to cost you something. That is decision making. That is leadership. It's not going to come to you automatically. It is not going to come to you after immediately leaving the portals of IMK. You have to actually practice. I should actually invite at this stage, where is our friend Namit? He's not in the room? Namit went out.
Yeah, I'll just call him.
Call him. You should ask him how much time it takes to. It takes you at least, I would say 5 years post IIM, irrespective of the number of years experience you may have had before you came to IIM, to become a very strong leader. And think through this carefully. You might now start questioning various decisions that you have made. Hey, if this fellow is telling me all this, why did I come to IIMK, man? I thought if I come to IIMK, then when I go for campus, my salary, which was 5 lakhs, is now suddenly going to jump to 15 lakhs. That was the objective. Is that objective going to be met? No. I first of all think that that should not be an objective. No, you look back and ask yourself in the real life that you are actually seeing, why does Sachin Tendulkar, after hitting 100 centuries, on the day of the test match, still go and to the nets and he has his coach advising him? 100 centuries that fellow has hit here. 100 centuries. And he's having one coach. That fellow has not even gone and played 1 test match. Why do you think Sachin Tendulkar is doing that? You have to practice. Without practice, you are not going to succeed. And whether you are an executive, whether you are a leader, follower, whatever you are, practice, 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 practice. Skill development comes only through practice. It doesn't come through learning theory. It cannot come from the portals of an institution. It cannot come. You can only understand the theory part of it. After that, you have to start practicing. You have to make those mistakes. Learn from those failures. Don't be afraid of failure. At this stage, you have any question to ask me? Feel free. Don't be afraid of asking any stupid question. Only stupid questions create wealth. With your permission, I'll sit down here. Difficult to stand. I just finished one session with the servicemen. Feel free. Anything you want to ask. She gave you so much of info about me and said so many great things, and you are not asking me anything. Something that is there on your mind, which you think that, let me ask this fellow, what is his experience? Why should I be doing this? Should I have gone to IMA instead of IMK? There is this story about, Nitin Gadkari. Once he was asked some question when he was addressing the BJP MLAs. So he said, the Congress MLAs are all unhappy. The Congress people who contested, they're all unhappy because they never got elected. They never became MLAs. All the BJP MLAs are very unhappy because only 10 of them became ministers. All the ministers are very unhappy because 9 of them are unhappy at least because only one person became the chief minister. And the chief minister is unhappy because he never became a union minister. And the union minister is unhappy because he never became the prime minister. So life is like that. Happiness has got no relationship with all this. If somebody says, I want to be happy in my life, it has got nothing to do with success. Success is not going to bring happiness to you. In Namit, why don't you come and tell them? What I was saying is that it takes solid time to become a leader. And post IIM, my feeling, I may be wrong, but my feeling is that it takes at least 5 years to become a very strong leader. See, leader means that follower must come automatically. He must willingly follow you. And that's a very difficult proposition. It's not very easy. Let's ask Namit. He's a alumni of IMK, one of the most successful people who joined in 2012. And he heads a business which is about 13-14% of our overall business, which is not a small thing. We are a 1,000 crore company today, only focused in cybersecurity. And the most interesting thing is that 33% of our business comes from 2 people who are both from IMK. Give them a big hand. One fellow is not here. He's one of them. And we have 8 other PNL leaders. So 2 out of 10. 20% of our leaders delivering 33% of our business. That's the stat. And for those of you who have been speaking about what are the skills I should develop and all that, one is data intensive. What Narayana Murthy said long back, in God we trust. Infosys, who is the person? There is somebody who said Infosys. Narayana Murthy said, in God we trust. Everybody else has got to bring data to the table. Don't go for a meeting without data. This is the other thing that you guys need to study. Do not go into any meeting without data. Have solid data with you. Otherwise, take whatever shit your boss is going to give you and go out of the room. That's all you can do. Get that data. It requires a lot of homework. It requires a lot of collaboration, a lot of understanding, a lot of discussing with people. Only then you will have clarity in your mind, because all this is some war happening in Iran and I'm getting affected with my logistics operation. There is no correlation today. It's a very, very complex world. Yes, Namit.
Hi guys. I've done this for 2 years, so I know the pain of going through post-class placement sessions. First of all, I empathize with you. I'm sorry that I'm being part of this process. Having said that, I'll also say that I would give anything to come back and sit in these rooms and sit in these sessions. But I think that's where the most learning happens. Without any lack of respect to the faculty or anything, I think the learning at IMK happens outside classrooms mostly, and in sessions like this, because you learn a lot of theory, you learn a lot of stuff which you obviously think you paid for, but then after finishing you realize that you missed out on a lot of things that could have been let's say captured in various ways, and most of it is outside classroom, outside the classroom. And in your case, I think unfortunately it's a 10-month program, right? Not even 12 months.
12 months. 12 months. So yeah, you only have 12 months and then you have so many things going on which kind of take you away in different directions. Ultimately, you all are here for a certain very specific goal. I think in your case, it's more difficult because your opportunity cost is much higher than a regular PCB program. And it is important to pick the right company that comes with. And I will get to what Prem asked me to speak about in a bit. I just wanted to give you this insight because I can see a lot of faces who are optimistic at the same time worried. And I know it's very early in your program. I think it's 3 months or 2 months now. 3 months over in the 12-month period. So next year, this time you will be working somewhere. Right? By June, you should be out. But they will not keep you out. The point is leadership. Again, what Craig was talking about. I think what I've learned at Paramount in the first few years, and that's why I said pick the right company. While MBA will teach you stuff, and like I said, outside classrooms and all that, the first company that you work in, the first boss, and the first team that you work in will teach you more. So I think without having an MBA background or B school background himself, he's taught us more than what we learned for 2 years on campus, the first few months or years. And some of those mantras, even, I mean, I've been with him for the last 13 years now. And some of those mantras are still things that he's telling you guys and it's still relevant. And in that is about leadership. Right? And I think he already mentioned that. If you want to be a leader, I think you should forget about leadership first. You should take the notion of leadership out of your heads. And once you do that, I think leadership will fall on you, not by choice, but mostly because of destiny. Because everybody around you will realize that this person is not interested in the leadership tag, and probably he has there's no conflict of interest with the goals that the organization or the team or the group or whatever has. It's hard to understand all this with sitting here. I know it will feel like a lot of jargon, a lot of gyan. When you go out in the corporate world, which you mostly see, but on the, let's say, labor side of the work, and not on the managerial side of the work, right, which you want to migrate into, you will definitely see that leadership qualities do matter, but don't chase leadership, right? Don't, because we see a lot. We've recruited from PGPPL 1, 2, 3, and we've seen a lot of interviews and CVs, and it is more or less more of the same. Everybody wants to be a leader. Everybody wants to be, or has come to a program like this to become a leader, or for the next phase of their life, or to progress from to a non-technical role. So the template is same. The idea is to get into some place that will teach you, and I think that's what we've also experienced. I mean, like I said, PGPBL 1, 2, 3, we've hired from. At PGP 15, we've had people from 16, 17, 18, and a couple of later batches as well. Most people who come have had a great experience understanding about cybersecurity, which is what we do as a company. But in that process, also learned about several management concepts, like leadership being one of them, building organizations, building profitable, let's say, companies within companies, something that he's very passionate about, building people. So I think that is something that definitely helps in your right career choice, because probably you won't get a third chance in life. This is your second chance in life. That's what I see that. And most of the PGP students and the PGP or any postgraduate students spending a lot of time and money on such an initiative in their life will probably have a third chance when you want to stop working and start something on your own. That's the pattern for you if you don't know this already. Right? You do your engineering, think Infosys is the biggest thing in the world. After you graduate, you join. 2 months later, you realize that everybody is in the same shirt, at the same time, the same job, the same title, the same code, throwing up the same errors, using the same AI tools. And you say, okay, maybe MBA will change my life forever. And then you realize MBA is everybody doing the same thing, toppers from all the same schools, same jobs, same CV. Now the CV also will, if you remove the CV names, you will probably not be able to distinguish between two people's CVs. Right? Electronics engineer, 2 years in IT company, topper in school, topper in class, has done so many other things, hardworking. Strengths are the same, weaknesses are that they work too hard, too much, and all that. So we've seen all that. So what I'm saying is second chance in life. I still come back to campus every day because again I'm from Kozhikode and I can afford to, and I can always make it a point to meet all the profs because something keeps you close to the roots, right? So that's one thing. The second chance in life, make the best you got. You probably will run for 5 years, 6 years. You will take a third chance in life. I did that myself, and then I got the fourth chance in my life to come back to Paramount. So this was my second stint in Paramount. I quit in between after spending 5 years. Did 3 years of my own stuff. Didn't work out for me, but it was a learning experience. Thankfully, I came back to Prem and they were able to give me a position that still excited me, and I came back. So it's been 5 years, 6 years since then. So you will get these chances in life, but I don't think they'll go beyond 5 or 6. So make the right choices, is what I would say. I think I can't teach you anything further than what Prem has already told you. But the opportunities will come to you if you don't look for it.
Thanks, Namit. Good. So, what are the questions that you have in your mind? I'm told that this is one of the first external people coming in to see you, or you've had other people?
To be honest,
What do you mean?
they're not allowed to sometimes be honest about who will be campus.
Why? How does it make a difference? No, we're not asking who. We're asking whether it is the first or you. Just to understand that extent of exposure, that you've been able to get.
I was actually from you can tell.
Second, you should have more and more of this so that each person coming in is going to see. We all have one fundamental issue that we will look at life only through our lens. Suppose I give you my specs and ask you to look, are you going to see anything? You're not going to see anything, right? So it's important for you to take inputs from multiple external sources, distill in yourself the quintessence of what you have heard, and then take your own decision. That is the key. And you must take ownership of that decision. At the end of the day, when you decide something, and when it doesn't work out, don't say, hey, that fellow Namit, he came and he said so many things and all that, yeah, it didn't work. Don't blame him. Your job is not to blame that guy. He's not worried about whether you like his face or you don't like his face. Correct? So that is why listen carefully, take multiple inputs, take your own decision. And you know that when you put it input, process, output, you may not get the output correctly, even if you have all the right inputs, because something went wrong in the process. Right? So anything can go wrong, but you learn through multiple failures. So have that courage to experiment. Have that openness to learn. Have the humility to accept mistakes when you make those mistakes. Don't get into life with the objective of making money. You must have a much larger objective. Let me tell you this: success, wealth, fame, happiness. We all want this, right? Is there anybody here in this room who says, hey, these 4 things that you have said, no, I want only one of this? Anybody is there? Everybody wants this in some proportion. But the interesting thing about life is that none of these 4 things can be chased. But all these 4 things will happen if you identify a cause far greater than yourself. Go behind that cause. You will now suddenly find that all these 4 things are chasing you. It's a very interesting scenario in life. Very interesting scenario. So ask yourself this question: what is my cause? What do I really want to do in my life? See, first of all, this word success, is again completely misunderstood. Somebody is talking to your mother and she says, my son is studying in IIM Kozhikode. And this guy says, my son is studying in IIM Ahmedabad. And then that other mother is saying, oh, my son is studying in INSEAD in France. So there's no end to success, has no meaning. You have to define what is success for you. Don't allow somebody else to define your success. Similarly, fame, wealth, happiness, everything. You have to decide what is enough for you. That's a very important decision in life. What is enough? What questions you have? Anything? Yes.
Sir, you said that we will be followers for the next 5 years of our career post MBA.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say you will be followers.
Generally, generally, if we need to practice to learn your
You would correct that and say, I will be a learner.
so it's a very crucial period. So how do you choose a leader to follow? Like how do you associate? How do you decide that you want to be associated with this leader and in this particular organization for the next 5 to 6 or 7 years or forever? If it
Good question. Give her a hand. It's a very important question. How do I choose a leader? Right? That is the question.
and also not just be a follower forever, but to also lead something, to learn from the leader and then to
That, as Namit said, will automatically happen. You don't have to go into your business life saying, I want to become a leader. Because understand one thing. See, you are a leader only if you have a follower, not when you are given a designation. Somebody gives you a designation, vice president, and gives you some 5 people, but they are not following you. Because every day they are coming back to themselves, they are having their own kitchen cabinet, and that is saying, hey, this Namit, the useless fellow man, what leader he is. This is what will happen in any organization. So, you can't impose this leadership. I don't know how many of you know, you want to go to Mount Everest, right? So you say, yes, I want to go to Mount Everest. So I tell you, my friend, I will take you, man. Don't worry, I've got a beautiful helicopter. I'll take you in this helicopter. I'll put you on that Mount Everest. You stay there for 5 minutes and come back. What do you think will happen to you? We actually do that. I take you in a helicopter and put you in Mount Everest. What will happen to you? What is that?
There will be no sense of accomplishment.
I didn't understand. There will be no
Sense of accomplishment. Like
sense of accomplishment. Okay, that's a good point. But what will happen to you is the question. Who said that? You won't survive. You're saying you will die. Why? I'm not trained to be. Very good point. That's the answer. So you cannot take somebody and make him the leader. It is exactly like climbing Mount Everest. You have to go through the climb. Step by step you have to go. First step 1, 2, 3, 4. What is actually happening when you're climbing Mount Everest? What is happening is that your body is getting acclimatized to the weather. The body cannot take that weather condition if I take you in a helicopter and put you on top of Mount Everest. This is the fundamental thing, and leadership is exactly like that. Don't ever try to become a leader because you have come out of IIMK and I've got 5 years experience working for Infosys. Doesn't make any difference. Go through the grind. You may still get a leadership job. Doesn't matter. Take it if it comes your way. But understand what needs to be learned, what needs to be done. Check with your followers. It will help a lot. Humility is extremely important characteristic that you must bring to the table. Just like integrity, humility must be there. What you can do, that self-awareness level must be very high. What I can do, what I cannot do. And what I cannot do, if it is actually required to deliver that customer satisfaction, make sure that you partner. Get the right people. What's your name? Bhagishri. And what's your functional background? What did you study before you came here?
I'm a company secretary and I'm also a pharmacy graduate.
Very good. company secretary. So you should also take class for them on finance. Teach them. Why are you afraid? They know less than you are. Why are you worried? You tell them. They will listen. Except that guy who goes and learns that Dr. Anil Lamba out of the world, if he is able to listen to every video and understand, then he will tear you apart. But try it out. You also go and learn that Anil Lamba funda again. That's why finance guys are always at an advantage in most companies, because any decision, ultimately the key issue is, what is the impact on finance? Is it, are you spending money or you're making money? It's a very, very important question. We have our friend Mukundu sitting there. It's a very interesting guy. He heads our marketing. He's also a leader. In our company, nobody comes from the marketing space. There is no formally marketing educated guy, even among all our leaders. We have sales guys. Sales guys have no respect for marketing guys. Right? Sales guys will simply say that this fellow has never been on the ground. He doesn't understand that customer. He doesn't know this product. All the limitations you want about that so-called marketing function will be there from the sales guys. Then there is the situation where this company has never succeeded with marketing guys. Marketing guys have only come and gone. Now this entire history was given to Mukund when he joined the company. He's now been with us for 3 years. 3 years. And he's a leader. Because at the end of the day, he will tell us that this is how I'm going to do marketing. This is what we should be doing. And everybody in the system will listen. Ask him what is his experience. You should tell them. Share your experience with them. And the concept of leadership in the marketing function.
Okay, so
he made that, you should share that presentation anyway with all of them.
yeah,
He's made a presentation, beautiful presentation on leadership, which he told me that I must go through that with you. But I felt that, that is anyway there, we can give that to you and you can have one direct link with him so that, during the course of the next 6 months, you want to touch base with him on any particular aspect of those. It's only about 10, 12 slides. It's worth actually looking into that, and he did all of that in just 24 hours. In just 24 hours. He came to IIM Kozhikode for the first time in his life, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Yesterday. And today he had the presentation ready. That's performance here. Give him a big hand.
So one of the qualities of a leader is he makes other people feel very, very nice about themselves, and that's the reason why Prem is sitting there. The truth is, I made a presentation, sent it to him. He said it's very nice and stuff, and then 9/8 one mail comes to me saying that have a look at this document that is there. And it's a document that this man has sat and prepared without any executive help or support. Okay. And the document is there. I'll give it to you. And this presentation, even if you don't get it, it's not really going to matter. But do look and read at that presentation. It's phenomenal. It's like his personal words to all of you guys. It's come in a Word document, not a fancy PowerPoint. Okay, so tell you very quickly the story of what happened. How to choose a company, Namit has already talked. I'll just quickly take a bite into that, and then probably the biggest lesson I'll also take. See, when I worked in IBM and Cisco, Mindtree, a lot of large companies and larger budgets and stuff like that. So somebody told me, meet Paramount, Brave, and I love meeting entrepreneurs. I decided to have a conversation with them. The website wasn't really very fancy, so I said, I really need to meet. But I said, entrepreneurs will have something in there, so meet. So I was talking to them, both the COO and CEO were interviewing me. When I talked to them, somebody came, some employee came. Man, most of you are working professionals, you know how shortage the meeting rooms are. Somebody said, I have a meeting booked here. They said that to a CEO and the COO, and and the CEO and COO say, hey, please, we are going to another room. So I said, okay, this is the right place to. You can't, rank is not really a problem. I joined them, and the first meeting I had was a 5,000 rupee discussion. Why are you paying 5,000 rupees for this particular thing? My first discussion I had with the CEO. Then I realized that they haven't had marketing at all. So they don't know how much what would cost. 2 months is all they asked me what it meant. Then I kind of started displaying the value that I could bring to them. Right? Today I can send a $50,000 estimate. There will be a little bit of grumbling here and there, but then they'll sign it off. And the sales guys, first initially, you will not be given any respect because you haven't done anything. The first things I did was got them very very small things. For somebody who's in 20 years experience, doesn't he cannot say I help them create a nice PowerPoint. The last thing a marketing manager is supposed to do. But I knew that I had to build that trust because or else they will not let me close. They don't let me close, not gonna happen. Right? That happened. Then a little larger things happen. I am generating around $2.5 million, which is marketing driven revenue. Right? So I'm saying that the only reason why I'm saying this is that no matter where you're from, you will take time to build that trust. Somebody was saying, how can I be that leader, right? So that trust building is really important. And real life, you don't have a Shaktiman or a Superman, right? You can't do miracles. You'll have to be a little patient and you'll have to see things from a distance and like Prem said, see from his lens, from a sales guy's lens. Right? Why should I even spend time with this guy? Right? So I think that's all I have to say about this thing. But nobody will believe you unless you show evidence. That's the only fun I was trying to do. Even if you are from a linear, company like IBM or Cisco. That's about it. But the sheets are here. You will have it because I know a lot of people. I mean, even I was sitting and thinking because people are used, right, to seeing 2-3 slides, some fancy cohorts and some curves going up and down and stuff like that. So I was thinking, what are you guys thinking? That's the reason why I hurriedly told you, hey, you have something to take home. Thanks, that's about it.
What else?
So my name is Balaganesh.
Balagirish.
Balaganesh.
Balaganesh. Yeah.
I studied my mechanical engineering in Coimbatore.
Coimbatore. That's where our security operations center is. We have 65 people there. Very good.
You are working with Wipro. Ramit was also telling like many people have their different milestones segregated between different years. What is the point or what is the moment which when you decided to become an entrepreneur? What made you to think of becoming an entrepreneur?
Good question. See, in 1997, I read one book called 7 Habits of Effectiveness. How many of you have read that book? Nobody. Nobody. Oh my God. You must read it. Please note down. 7 Habits of Effectiveness by Stephen Covey. And you will obviously find videos also. So you don't need to necessarily read that full book because it's a little difficult book in terms of the size and it's very intense. You can't just easily read it. So therefore, I suggest that you probably see a lot of videos of what these 7 habits really are. So when I read that book, I was 47 years old. And I started working at the age of 22. So I had 25 years of work experience. And when I read that book, that realization struck me. I said, Prem, you've been running your life completely in the wrong manner. I wish somebody had told me about this book and the principles 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Anyway, life is a marathon. It's not 100 meters, 200 meters, right? So I said, I will change. So there are 7 habits in that book, clearly it says. And these 7 habits are sequential. You cannot forget about habit 1 and go and learn 5. You have to go in a stepwise manner. 1, 2, 3. Practice, perfect it, and then you move to 4, 5, 6. But when you start doing that, believe me, you will find your life changing completely. Completely, I'm telling you, I'm giving you 100% guarantee. If I'm alive 10 years from now, please come and meet me. And tell me you advised me to read that book. It did not change my life. I am guaranteeing to you that not a single person will be able to tell me that my life did not change after I applied the 7 principles, the 7 habits of effectiveness. So this was the first book. Second book that I read is a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. How many of you have read that book? Still, all those people who have not read that book, please go and read that book. That's an easier book to read than 7 Habits of Effectiveness. Now, Rich Dad Poor Dad is a very, very important book from a conceptual standpoint. Do we have a pen here? All the pens are in that room. No. Oh, it's here. So even for those who have read and for those who have not read, let me ask the people who have read this book, what does this E stand for? What does this E stand for? If you have read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Any idea? No idea. This is the most important concept in that book. We had a friend from Infosys, right? You said, I've read. You remember this or no? You don't remember. Looks like nobody in this class remembers. See, again, I'm telling you, my friends, one of the most important things whenever you learn any subject, anything, you must understand that fundamental. What is this subject or this topic or this chapter trying to really convey to me? You must be able to understand that basic. Tell me here, who is afraid or does not like mathematics? All of you have studied maths in school, right? All of you. Who hates maths? Many people or what? You are there. You stand up. You are our company secretary. You hate maths, right? Don't like. What is A plus B whole squared? A squared plus B squared plus 2AB. She doesn't like maths. How is she able to remember? She has never done A plus B whole squared after she left her school, 12th. So how many years have passed? 18 years, 15 years, whatever? 13 years, 12 years? 13 years have passed, and she is today standing boldly in this class and saying A plus B whole squared is A squared plus B squared plus 2AB, which is absolutely correct. How is she able to do that? Practiced, focused, all that is fine. But the key thing is that if you are able to represent any concept in a mathematical form, funda is that you will always remember. So try to see whether anything that you learn, can you put it in the form of an equation? So now, Rich Dad Poor Dad, this is the most important thing in Rich Dad Poor Dad. Even if you don't read the book, remember this concept very clearly. E stands for employee. Now you remember? S. See that? Now it is coming out. Very nice. Self-employed. Okay? What is this? B. You are a business owner. Then investor. Now, what is the real concept of this? The concept of this is that you have only 4 quadrants in which you can generate cash. There's no other quadrant. Ideally, in your life, if you are able to generate cash in all 4 quadrants, that is the best position to be in. Agreed, not agreed? Ideally. Anybody who says, no man, I don't want to be generating cash from all 4 quadrants. Is there anybody? Anybody is there? You don't want to be generating.
I feel there are enough number of people who have stayed in one place and made their life.
No, it's not a question of staying
So I would like to be in one,
in only one quadrant. And then which is that quadrant that you want to be in?
maybe investor.
You want to be only an investor. Very good. Hey, give him a big hand. There are a lot of people like this. That clarity of mind is there very clearly because he knows that today if he has a certain bucket of money, all that he has to do is invest it correctly where he is getting the relevant returns so that every month he has reasonable amount of cash and he doesn't need to go and become an employee somewhere. Why should he spend his time working for a Paramount or somebody else? Don't do all that, yaar. I can go and play golf, no? Because this quadrant is earning money. What is your functional background?
So I came from a textile background. So I was buyer for Decathlon and CU. So
Ah.
mainly managing supply.
So you were in this quadrant at that time, huh? Okay, very good. And why did you join IMK?
So mainly I found a strategical gap. I was too technical and to become a better leader, other functionality and take on more responsibility.
Okay, very good. I'll come to this one. So, my suggestion to you is that have that clarity which quadrant you want to be in. My thinking was at that time that ideally I must be in all 4 quadrants. Right? And I experimented with that. I went through a period of time when I told myself that this is something that I will probably try and avoid, but I will be here. And then slowly I moved to this also. So it's worthwhile for you to experiment with this. See how you can generate cash across all the 4 quadrants. But if your intent is very clear, your purpose is very clear, like how our friend said, I want to be only in this quadrant, I have then 24 hours of my time because my money is earning for me the cash flow that I require. So I have 24 hours of my time, I can do anything. I can come to IIM and then talk to all the people because I love people and I don't have to charge anything to IIM. And they're also very happy because here is one guy coming and our friend Nasreen has been saying, great experience, this, that is there. And he's not charging any money, so it's very good. No? It's win-win for everybody. Right? So, try this out. Read that book first. Understand this principle otherwise. Even if you don't read, understand this principle. So, to answer your question, this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, left a huge impact on my mind. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits left a huge impact. I started changing myself. I read a third book, which is for our friend on strategy. It's called Competing for the Future, written by Gary Hamel and C.K. Prahalad. So I read that book and I understood that there is a nice strategic framework. If you implement that strategic framework, you can, definitely create cash flow in one of these quadrants without actually working. Self-employed. So when I was an employee, I had one friend who was running one company called Paramount and he was running PCs. So one day he told me, Prem, I don't know what to do with my company. So I said, come on man, I thought you're doing very well here. What is your problem? He said, no, the falling margin in the PC business, I don't know whether my company itself will exist. He had some 10, 20 people, 10, 15 people were there. So he said, this is the problem. And then he said, all the other big boys are all selling PCs. I can't compete with them. I'm losing orders, a big headache. So then I told him, I'll do a strategy consulting exercise for you. And for those of you who have that little bit of fear somewhere that I'm making one change and all that, I did not know anything about strategy consulting except whatever is I read in that book. So he asked me, Prem, what is strategy consulting? I told him, we'll identify something completely new that nobody is doing. And I will draw out a roadmap for you how to get into that business. And the business that I identified for him in 1998 was internet security. And nobody was doing internet security in the Gulf. And did I know anything about internet security at that time? No, nothing. Zero. Did I have any experience with internet security? No. But I did the research, did the learning, understood that these are the companies that we must have a tie-up with, helped him in establishing those tie-ups, and then he executed. So we transformed a company that was in the PC business into internet security. So where did you learn everything about strategy consulting? Unfortunately, I never attended any IIM course. I didn't have that good fortune like you people to sit in a classroom like this and study. But there are other modes of study today that you can exploit if you don't have that opportunity. The key is not in the knowledge, the key is not in the learning, the key is in the application. Be bold enough to go and apply. So strategy clear? Learn, maybe read that book. Competing for the Future is also not a very easy book to read, but worth it. I suggest you also see the videos of Vijay Govindarajan. Vijay Govindarajan is a very good management thinker. He has got a very interesting video called the 3-box philosophy. Very interesting concept, very useful for you to implement. Not easy to implement, but very simple to understand. I'm sure Namit must have tried doing this. Where is Namit? Namit's not here. Mukund, have you tried? Because he says in that video very clearly, there are 3 things that you should always do. One is managing the present. Because if you don't manage the present well, then there is no future for you, right? So managing the present is very important. But if you spend time only managing the present, then your future is not going to be different from the present. Simple math. Very simple math. So you must do some things which are creating the future. And you must have a middle box which is called selectively abandoning the past. Think through carefully. What are the things that you were doing which is not today making sense? I was talking to somebody in the afternoon here and I was telling him, what is this logic of studying till 12th standard? Is there any logic? Why can't it be 6th standard and then go to IIM? Nobody is questioning this. Can be questioned. You don't have to study for 12 years and then only send that boy to college. And that to become, what is the big rocket science that you are learning there? Company secretary, audit, debit, credit, same thing. You ask him today, he will tell debit, credit and all I can teach here easily. Make him teach. You can teach, right? You don't have to ask them to go and do BCom, right? For 3 years. You're not confident? You can teach them. You can teach them balance sheet, income statement and cash flow statement. 3 things. Can you teach? That's enough. Just learn these 3 statements. It is equivalent to 3 years of BCom. I'm telling you. when it comes to application in the business environment. Ultimate key is application, right? And it's fun, man. So basically the thing is that by the time you finish your program, you must have a fair understanding of sales, marketing, delivery, logistics, finance. Then you decide which is the area that is really giving you that enjoyment. And when you go for interviews, choose those companies. You should be the one who chooses the companies. It's not the other way around. Don't make the company choose you. You choose the company. Then you will enjoy your career. Good. So thank you very much for this opportunity to be here with you. I'm grateful to Dr. Prantika, right? Professor Prantika. She was the one who was coordinating for us.
That's another class.
That's another.
Yeah.
Oh, this is another one. Okay. Good. So thank you very much. And be in touch with Namit.
Oh yeah, sure. Another.
This one.
Can you just stop?
All of you please come here.
Hmm?